You are stunningly attractive.
Because you were a hell of a football player too, right?
I was not a hell of a football player. I'll tell you, I was a
you're
hell
being
of a
modest.
backyard pickup football
Really?
player.
Yeah.
I played a mean tackle backyard football game, and I was okay in tackle, but I wasn't huge. I was just under 6 feet, 170 pounds. So I ran like a 4.6, 4.7.
Yo, that's fast as hell, Matt.
Come on.
No,
dude.
4.7 40 is not fast.
7,
man.
we're pushing it. Yeah.
I ran one recently. I was like a little under 6, so I'm gonna call 4.7 fast as hell.
But I loved it, and I grew up just that when I was a kid, just playing football in the side yard, that was like a part of my life, from the time I was probably 12 to I started playing in pads,
Did you have a
Even when I was
moment
playing in
where you were
pads.
like, wait a minute, I'm just fucking gorgeous, so I'm not going to do this anymore?
No, I never had that moment. I still haven't had that
No,
moment.
all right.
And I hope I never have that moment.
Let's talk. Let's have a talk here. I want to have a talk. I want you to talk to me seriously and truthfully right now. I mean, and it's okay. We're in the trust tree. We're not being cocky. We're not being arrogant. That you are stunningly good looking. You know what society deems to be good looking. Whatever, we can have that conversation another time. Based on the hair and the eyes and the teeth and the jaw and everything, that you are stunningly attractive.
I mean, maybe I'm just not my type. You know what I mean?
You son of a bitch!
I
That's a great
know.
fucking answer.
I'll tell you this. We were one of the nice parts of being raised in a very religious household is that you're so discouraged away from any pride.
That's what they do
so
best.
shunned.
Tell 'em, Matt.
It's like
Tell 'em.
they will chop you down if you're that tall
That's what
poppy,
they
baby.
do.
Don't get up there. Don't climb up there. So I'm glad they did that for me because it allows me to never look at myself in that
Allows
kind
me
of
to
light.
never have self-confidence ever.
Yeah.
No self-esteem over here.
I started Magic Mike, and I'm still like, well, I'm not that good looking.
Yeah, come on. When you get the nod from Magic Mike, they're not casting ugly guys. You know that.
You know what's crazy is I didn't even think about the subject matter as much. I was really wanting to work with Steven Soderbergh, and who I love and who's still a good friend of mine and who is an amazing guy. But at the time he was saying he was thinking about not directing anymore, which obviously isn't true. But that's what he was thinking at the time. So I thought, man, if this is my chance to work with Steven, I gotta jump at
No matter
it.
what, right?
It wasn't until I said yes that I realized the levels of waxing and tanner and, and abdominal crunches I was in for.
Do you think that movie, it doesn't get better because it's universally beloved, but do you think less people saw that movie? Obviously they did because I can't see a shirtless man. That's gross. But it's a great movie aside from
Very entertaining.
it's entertaining with just a stripper lifestyle, but it's also a great story and a great movie. Do you think that almost the stripper aspect took away from it, even though it's not really, it's just Channing's story, right?
I mean, I think it's based on Channing's story. You'd probably have to ask him more than me.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak on his behalf, but I think he did a great job of also making it a commentary on capitalist culture and what it means to try to make a buck and what kind of ethics or parts of yourself do you have to sacrifice in order to try to make a dollar and get ahead in the world,
Yeah, they're writing theses about it in college right now.
I mean, it's a legitimately awesome movie. It's it's a cool story of just hanging out with your boys and having a good time and having dreams and stuff like that. The stories in it are incredible.
The first one's really dark. The second one is definitely more kind of like a road trip buddy movie, group buddy movie, and it kind of reverses the gaze, the male gaze, where women can kind of objectify men, which I think is good. We should do that in 20 whatever.
Yeah, you know what? They were making
2014
big waves last night on The Bachelorette. They had the girls made the guys play strip dodgeball. And they went dicks out last night. They were totally naked.
They did not.
They went
They did
dicks
not
out.
drop full trout.
They did.
That's a dangerous game to play naked.
You got to be confident and to walk around with a house full of good-looking dudes. They were dicks out, and some people were.
Dodgeball too.
I know.
Yeah.
You're moving and flopping.
Very vulnerable.
Right.
Very vulnerable.
But there was a bunch of think pieces I think on Twitter right away about this is objectifying, and the producers were like, yeah, it's The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. That's what we do here.
Exactly.
You know? But yeah, it was fun. It was funny to watch that.
You know, I have to say, I've never seen The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, and I
Really?
get chastised for it constantly because people like live and die by that show.
Yeah, you would be great on it, by the way.
It's insane.
You would kill
I got to
it.
sign up for that.
Yeah.
It's in like here, Barstool Sports. People think it's very sports heavy. At my Twitter timeline at 8 p.m. on Tuesdays turns into exclusive Bachelor stuff. And I've actually never seen. I tried to watch one episode. I typically just don't really care for reality TV. And I tried to watch one episode of Bachelor in Paradise because everyone here loves it so much, and it just didn't hit for me. But it's crazy how popular it is.
It's like a sport in its own right.
I feel like particularly in the sports world.
Yeah.
It's obviously The Bachelor has its own world, but my Twitter timeline is largely sports writers or athletes, and it's all anyone talks about.
Like
Channing,
Ayuk?
is he as cool as he seems? Because I've read like GQ pieces on him and stuff like that. I like the GQ cover story. The expose is always one of my favorite articles to read. And this is probably from years ago when he picked up the woman who was doing the article. He canceled the car on her, so he just showed up like holding her name, and then they just went into the desert in LA and just got shit faced in like an old sheriff's town. And she's like, he's the coolest guy ever. Like he woke me up like kicking me in the morning. He was already drinking tequila again, and I was like, that's a guy I want to hang out with.
Yeah, he's a cool cat.
Yeah, I think you would. I think he's about as good as it gets in the biz. You know, he's very authentic. He hasn't lost touch with himself. He's always searching. He's a really open guy. He's funny. He's fun to hang out with, and he's also one thing that's tricky when you're a movie star. He's a great leader on a set. You know, he makes it feel like an ensemble experience, even if he's the one. Even if he's the one bringing in the box office.
Yeah,
He's one of the more interesting, like, I feel like case studies in Hollywood. I feel like when he first broke on the scene, people were like, oh, he's just good looking. Like, he can't act, he can't do anything. When it turns out he's this like crazy, talented, creative person who, if you give me a shot, I will show you why I'm supposed to be here.
He's a phenomenal actor, and if you haven't seen Guide to Recognizing Your Saints, which I think was like his first film role, and he was nominated for like an Independent Spirit Award, he like came on a scene so strong in that movie. And then you have to do this what the studio wants you to do, which are oftentimes romantic leads, which may or may not have all the nuance that other roles, media roles have when you're younger. You know, but he's a phenomenal actor, an incredible athlete, and a world-class human being.
You're not.